What's going on, everyone? IVG here with something other than a WPCL video. We're still back on Showdown, but it's whatever. Um, Today I'll be discussing my draft analysis for the NPL, otherwise known as the Nameless Pokémon League. We haven't decided of a name, but it's whatever. Um, just a little background on this thing. I joined off an amino, and they had spots available, so there are me and 7 other people in this league. Actually, no, me and 9 other people in this league, and we'll be going out throughout this week, battling for playoffs, and then the winner wins the whole league, just like the WPCL, but it's completely different. Now I'll be battling in a GBA formatted draft league, or no, it's not GBA. I think it's an APA, like a Pokemon Association, but whatever. It's a tiered system draft league, but that's the rules we're going by, and I'm going to be discussing my draft picks, and here I'll be introducing my Pokemon and the nicknames behind them. Okay, so anyways, here's my whole team. Just looking down, up, down, up. Okay, so first at the back we got Scizor, Rojo, the Scizor, and what I wanted to start off with was a really good Pokemon, something that's not very weak to typing wise, but something that could both provide something offensive and defensively, and Scizor definitely provided whatever both categories. So looking at Scizor, having a base 130 attack stat is obviously great. Having a base 130 defense and special defense being at 80 is really not that bad, and 70 HP is really good for a bulky Pokemon. Looking at Scizor, most of the time you'll see it run offensively. You see Technician, you think like Bullet Punch, Pursuit even to trap a Pokemon, Aerial Ace if you want some coverage. It does get Bug Bite to be off some sort of offensive pressure, and if you want to have switch initiative, it does get U-turn, which you'll be able to switch in and out of battle. Scizor does have knockoff, so it's able to knock off items off the opponent. And to put it on the defensive side, it does get Defog to get rid of hazards, and has Roost to heal itself back up. Surprisingly, it gets Morning Sun, but I think Roost is a whole lot better to have against. And also, not to forget, it does get Superpower, so it's a really good coverage move for it to have. But other than that, that's all really is about Scizor. Next up we have Despacio, the Slowbro. One thing I really wanted was a really bulky water type Pokemon, and Slowbro was something I honestly was looking at since the start of the draft. And I was looking for something to pair with it, but I'll discuss that later. Obviously, Slowbro is obviously good with Regenerator, being able to like switch out and then come back in with more HP. Despite it being like not very fast or offensively, you see it. Slowbro has a really good move pool. Of course, it gets its Scald, any sort of water moves that want it Scald. Psych Hit, Psych Shot, has access to Focus Blast, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam. There's one more move I'm forgetting. That's probably it. But of course, gets those moves. Really bulky Pokemon, base 100 attack, special attack, base 110 defense, a little lower special defense, base 80, but still okay, and base 95 HP is something really good to have for a bulky Pokemon. And pair that with like, let's say Leftovers, or have like a Z Crystal, which I didn't put as a Zmon, but that is okay. We do get two Z Pokemons that are allowed to use Z Crystals, and I'll be testing those in a second. Actually, next up we have Caliente, the Arcanine. I wanted to go like Jenny the Arcanine, but I was going something different. I wanted to have like sort of a Spanish thing, a team. So I just named something like Spanish, like either have like a Spanish last name or something that is said in Spanish. But Arcanine is next. It is happened to be one of my Z captains, so I'm just gonna put Variant Z just cause, whatever. Has a hit rate to weaken attack, physical attacks from a Pokemon, and gives me an immunity to Flash for Fire type Pokemon with its Flash Fire ability. Arcanine as well has some really good coverage moves. Of course, it has a Stab Fire type move with Flamethrower, Flare Blitz, Overheat, and gets coverage moves like Wild Charge, Bulldoze, surprisingly doesn't get Earthquake, Extreme Speed, Close Combat, Crunch, Dragon Pulse, Outrage, Iron Head. All these good coverage moves that you get too. Even if we go down here, there possibly could be some like Iron Tail. And it told me if I want to run specially instead of physical. And it has really good balance stats. Base 110 attack, base 100 special attack, base 80 in both defenses, base 90 in HP, and base 95 speed is something really good to have. Though it'd be preferred to have like a base 100 Pokemon, or at least faster than that, but that's okay. Because it's Arcanine. And to be honest, this is like the first time I actually got to use Arcanine in Draft League. And though I wanted it to be in the WPCL, I believe that Arcanine fits really well in this team, just by the way it looks. Okay, next up we have Rosadonphan, named after one of my friends, because she loves elephants, and this is the closest thing to an elephant. But other than that, Donphan is a really good Pokemon, really bulky, provides both a hazard setter and a hazard remover. Has a sturdy ability to live at least one hit, and at least firing off an attack. Of course, you know it gets Earthquake, gets the Elemental Fangs, Fire Fang, and Thunder Fang. I don't think it gets Ice Fang at all. Gets Knockoff, Play Rough, Poison Jab, Heavy Slam, Head Smash. If you want to be risky, of course, it gets Seed Bomb, Superpower, and all those big moves that you see right there. Of course, like I said before, it is a hazard set and a hazard remover, so it gets Stealth Rocks for hazards and is able to spin away hazards with Rapid Spin. And of course, having 120 in attack and defense is really good for physical defense in Pokemon. Base 90 HP helps back it up a little. Though it does have a low special defense, it's not something I'm too worried about, because I basically was focusing on a big physical Pokemon, physical defensive Pokemon, and Donphan seemed to fit in that category. Next up we have Dominguez, the Drapion. I was looking for a name for this thing and I finally came across one. Drapion is a little different for me because I have not got to use it in a Draft League, but it's something new that I'll be able to learn about. Battle Armor prevents crits from happening, and Sniper giving that chance to critical hit, or doing more damage if you get a crit, so that backs up like Night Slash, Cross Poison. I believe there's one other move that Drapion gets that's critical and will do more damage. I forgot what it is, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Of course, Drapion's really good, is a good knockoff setter, because Stab knockoff is really good in a Draft League. Has coverage moves like Rock Slide, Scizor, Fire Fang, Earthquake, Brick Break, Aqua Tail. And surprisingly, for being a big Pokemon, it is very fast, having base 95 speed, so both Arcanine and Drapion are both base 95. I sort of have a physically defensive Pokemon within Drapion, but within the typing, it doesn't really fit it, because the one thing it's weak to is ground types, and commonly with ground types you'll see like Earthquake, Bulldoze, there's one more move. Oh yeah, Stomping Tantrum in this generation. People are starting to run that because for double damage if it gets hit already, I think. I think that's what it does. I'm going to see if it has it. Yeah, Stomping Tantrum doubles in power if the user's last move is failed. So people will start running that a whole lot more. It is a new move. I know it's competitive. But all that being said. Next up we have Raichu, Revere, the Raichu. And this is my second Z Pokemon, so I'm just going to put Electrium Z. Ignore that. Or just so you know that it's my Z captain. Of course I wanted immunity in electric types. And since it gets Lightning Rod, this provides a good electroimmunity. Every time I look at an electric Pokemon, I always think of fast electric types and somewhat of an immunity to electric. Even though I already have Rosa covering that as well. It's always good to have a fast electric type, and having that electric immunity is a plus always. Base 110 speed, really fast Pokemon that I wanted. Even after looking at my draft, I was looking at speed stats, and thankfully I had Revere that was so fast enough to outspeed Pokemon. And since it's Raichu, it gets a bunch of moves, because Pikachu, being the mascot of Pokemon itself, getting a ton of moves, and it's being the evolution, it'll get a whole bunch of moves. Like, heck, I did not know this thing got Heart Stamp. Of course, from events, it gets Surf and Fly right down here, so I'm able to learn off of those moves. Of course, Raichu on its own is pretty good. I mean, Thunderbolt tears through teams. Volt Switch, being able to switch out. Of course, getting that Surf off. Signal Beam, a good coverage move. Nasty Plot honestly scares people from Raichu. Focus Blast, good coverage move. Even if you want to be physical, you got the String Speed, Wild Charge, Volt Tackle. Like I said, Evolution of Pikachu gets all those same moves from Pikachu. And it's honestly pretty good. Even I could run Wish on this thing, and it'd be like a fast healer on the team. Fake Out Extreme Speed, those type of moves could honestly help out the team a whole bunch. Next up we have Gomes. And I'm not looking at regular Altaria. I'm like, yes, it does get Natural Cure as a really good ability to negate status moves. But I'm looking at Gomes, the Mega Altaria, with a powerful pixelate ability, making normal type moves into fairy type moves. So Body Slam turns fairy, Double Edge turns fairy type move, Return fairy type move, Frustration fairy type move. All those normal type moves are now fairy type moves, and do 20% more damage. And Altaria is honestly good because look at these balanced stats: 110, 110, 110 in attack, defense, and special attack. 105 in special defense. Really balanced on offense and defense. Has an okay HP stat and an okay speed stat, which honestly makes Altaria a really good mega to have on the team. It has all these coverage moves. I'm going to pause right here and I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Sorry about that, guys. Had to do something real quick. But other than that, like I said, really well Pokemon. Has really good coverage moves. Like I said, the stab. In the normal types turning into a stab fairy type move and dealing more damage. Having good coverage moves in fire type moves like Flamethrower, Fire Blast. Having Earthquake, good coverage move. Ice Beam as well. And you can run defensively because I know this thing gets Cotton Guard. Has Haze to prevent like stat setup. Heal Bell could be our cleric. Could rest off any statuses. Can also phase out a Pokemon. And also set up like a really good momentum point with Tailwind. And could just talk to the Pokemon straight up. Next up we have Fuerte, the Conkeldurr, my big strong boy, as I want to call him. Cause look at this thing, base 140 attack stat. And having this Pokemon on my team, really good. Having base 105 HP, base 95 defense, really good for my team. Having some really good abilities as well. Guts being negated from status move, especially with Burn being nerfed in this generation, helps out a whole lot. Of course, not getting negated by Burn, and Burn only do like a 16th of the health. And of course, boosting my attack stat by 50%. Sheer Force negates the secondary effects. Some moves so like the Elemental Punches don't do what it's supposed to do, but do a whole lot more damage. Sorry about that. And like I said about the Elemental Punches, it does get Iron Fist, which also boosts those attacks. The only thing is, with Guts, it's 50% more damage. With Sheer Force, it's 30% more damage, but loses the secondary effects. And Iron Fist, it does 20% more damage if it's the punch-based move. So like Drain Punch and Mach Punch get boosted as well. Like those moves. But of course, going back to those things, all the punches move is what it gets. Drain Punch, Mach Punch, Focus Punch, Power Up Punch. All the elemental punches get Superpower, Poison Jab, Stone Edge, Rock Slide. Gets Grass Knots for some odd reason. Gets Earthquake. Of course, with Guts and Facade, we'll be tearing through teams. Knock off if I want to knock off an item. Sorry, my voice cracked. And don't think there's any moves down here that could help as much. But other than that, Conkeldurr is a really good Pokemon. Very good physical Pokemon to have on my team. Next up, so back to what I was talking about from Despacio having the Regenerator. Sucio, my Tangos, also gets Regenerator. And this helps out because I got a really good Regenerator core. And having it both being bulky. And especially having them both being water and grass. Those are really good pairings to have on a team. Because they're both really bulky and help out with each other. With Tangos, get both base 100 HP and attack stat, which is okay. base 125 defense and base 110 special attack is really good. And yes, I do have special limit to 50, but pack that thing with Assault Vest and it takes hits, I am telling you. And Tangos, not to mention, also has a really good move pool. Of course, Giga Drain, Energy Ball, Grass Knot, Leaf Storm, Leechy as well has Empower being good grass type moves, but also gets like Knockoff, Earthquake, getting their hidden power with Big Break, Focus Blast, Poison Jab if I want to run to, Rock Slide, Sludge Bomb. Those moves honestly help out for the team. Couldn't even run Toxic on this thing. Like I said, really big bulky Pokemon, really goes well with Despacio, and even could very well pair up with Caliente, even Rosy, even because I drafted those as really bulky Pokemon to have my team, and honestly Tangos helps out a whole bunch with the rest of the team. Moving on, next up we have Freya, the Frostlass. I'm gonna spoil a little bit something about this Freya. I did not want this thing, and honestly made a mistake drafting it. But I'm just gonna talk about it either way. Of course, Frostlass, base 110, base 80 special attack and attack, but attack stat doesn't matter. Base 70 defense, special defense is HP. Somewhat okay, but could be better. Of course, gets the Curse Body ability, which Nick has a 30% chance of disabling a Pokemon's move, which could help out a lot, but of course it's not going to help out a lot because I'm not using it anymore. Of course, gets Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Psychic, Hidden Powers, Destiny Ball helps out a lot. It was a good Spiker, but of course I didn't want it. Thunder Wave, Toxic Will-O-Wisp was something I honestly wanted, but this is not the case. I ended up trading Frostlass for a different ghost type in the tier. And in tier 4, I ended up picking up Miss Magius. But honestly, let's just give it up. Welcome Havana, the Miss Magius. I was honestly more happier with having Miss Magius on the team. Like, I did not even want to use Frostlass for some reason. Like, I know an Ice type would be really good on this team, but Frostlass was not going to be the Pokemon. I mean, Miss Magius does have a really good offensive pressure, base 105 in special attacks, special defense, and speed. And of course, having 60 base HP and defense. Does have base 60 in attack. But attack stat doesn't really matter on this thing. Gets some good coverage moves. Of course, Shadow Ball is what it gets. Hex, base 65, but if it gets status, it does double, so it turns out to be like 130. And does so much damage if the opponent is status. So Thunder Wave, Toxin, and Will-O-Wisp still help out there. Of course, gets coverage with Thunderbolt, Power Gem, Hidden Powers, Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball. I know it gets like one more move that's helpful. Oh yeah, just like how Delphoc's signature with Mystical Fire, it also gets Mystical Fire, and it lowers the special attack by one stage, which I honestly did not know that I got. Does get Inferno, but I'm not using that move. Look at that, 50 accuracy. Why would somebody like put themselves in that situation to use that move? But other than that, that's what it is. I have no idea what I did. Okay, back to it. And finally we have Pájaro, the Pidgeot. Literally just means bird in Spanish. Looking at Pidgeot, I did want something fast, so base 100 special speed, able out to be the base 100 Pokemon, like the Pixie Pokemon. There are some other Pokemon that are base 100 that are really hesitant to seem. I just cannot think of them off the top of my head. And Pidgeot really just served the same purpose as what a Mega Pidgeot would do, except it doesn't hit all of its attacks. Like, it didn't have no guard, of course. But of course it doesn't hit all of its attacks. But it does help out a little bit. Of course, it has Stab Hurricane, Air Slash. Brave Bird can also help out a bit. Stab Return as well. I can also have this thing as a Pursuit Trapper if I wanted to. Also gives me give me some sort of momentum with U-turn. Tell me out there. Has you wait for coverage. And there was something else I just honestly forgot. Of course, gets Omnis Win. I think that was it on Pidgeot. But it was really debatable because I didn't know if I wanted Pidgeot or Furo, and I ended up picking Pidgeot in the end because it did have the like diversity and move pool. Of course, Furo has its own, but Pidgeot was like a plus for me, I guess. And that's my that's gonna be my whole team for this new draft league, the NPL. I hope you all guys enjoyed, and we'll see you all in my first week, which, of course, I'll be recording this soon. Spoiler alert, or breaking the fourth wall. I'll be recording it soon, and it'll be up like a few days from now, whenever this gets uploaded. I have no clue when it's getting uploaded, but once this gets uploaded, the first week, team builder and post commentary will be within the same week, just in a few days. And anyways, guys, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Take care.